Hi everyone, Zach Pickoff here, and welcome back to another lesson video. Today, I will be going over the 20-1 text. So let's jump right into the video. Okay, so as I had stated before, I'm going to be going over the 20-1 text. So we're starting our new chapter today, and in this chapter, we will be learning about how to account for notes and interest. In addition to that, we will also be learning about how to define accounting terms related to notes and interest, identify accounting concepts and practices related to notes and interest, calculate interest and maturity dates for notes, analyze and record transactions for notes payable, and finally, analyze and record transactions for notes receivable. All right, so now that I've read over the learning objectives, let's jump right into the 20-1 text. Alrighty, so now we're going to be moving on to the 20-1 text, which is the first lesson in Chapter 20. And in this lesson, we will be learning about promissory notes. Okay, so there are a bunch of key terms that I'd like to go over before we start the accounting part of this lesson. So the number of a note is the number assigned to identify a specific note. The date of a note is the day a note is signed. The payee of a note is the person or business to whom the amount of a note is payable. The time of a note are the days, months, or years from the date of signing until a note is to be paid. The principal of a note is the original amount of a note that is sometimes referred to as the face amount of a note. The interest rate of a note is the percentage of the principal that is paid for use of the money. The maturity date of a note is the date a note is due. The maker of a note is the person or business who signs a note and thus promises to make payment. A promissory note is a written and signed promise to pay a sum of money at a specified time. A creditor is a person or organization to whom a liability is owed. Notes payable are promissory notes signed by a business and given to a creditor. Interest is an amount paid for the use of money for a period of time. And the maturity value is the amount that is due on the maturity date of a note. All right, next we're going to be talking about uses of promissory notes. So promissory notes are used when money is borrowed for a period of time from a bank or other lending agency. Sometimes a bank requests a note from a customer who wants credit beyond the usual time given for sales on account. Notes have an advantage over oral promises and accounts receivable or payable. They can be useful in a court of law as written evidence of a debt. So what we're looking at here is an example of a promissory note. And the different numbers are showing us the different parts of this promissory note. So number 1 is showing us the number of the note. Number 2 is showing us the date of the note. Number 3 is showing us the payee of the note. Number 4 is showing us the time of the note. Number 5 is showing us the principal of the note. Number 6 is showing us the interest rate of the note. Number 7 is showing us the maturity date of the note. And finally, number 8 is showing us the maker of the note. Okay, next we're going to be talking about calculating interest on a promissory note for 1 year and for a fraction of a year. So the way that we calculate interest for 1 year is as follows. We take the principal amount and we multiply it times the interest rate, and then we multiply that times the time in years, and that will give us the interest for 1 year. Now the way that we calculate interest for a fraction of a year is as follows. We take the principal amount and we multiply it times the interest rate, and then we multiply that times a fraction of a year and divide it by 360. And that will give us the interest for a fraction of a year. All right, next we're going to be talking about calculating the maturity value for a promissory note. So the way that we calculate the maturity value is as follows. We take the principal, which was the interest that we had calculated for 1 year, and we add it to the interest that we had calculated for a fraction of a year. And that will give us the maturity value of the note. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to be talking about in this lesson is calculating the maturity date of a note. So the way that we calculate the maturity date of a note is as follows. First, we subtract the date of the note from the number of days in the first month. So from May 18th to May 31st, that's 13 days. Next, we add 30 days for June, which will get our total amount of days up to 43. After that, we add 31 days for July, which will get our total amount of days up to 74. And lastly, we add only 16 days in August in order to reach the total amount of days, which are 90. All right, so that is the end of the 20-1 text. In the next video, I will be going over the 20-1 work together. Okay, thank you.